So I wanted to just ping a quick video out. I sat here pondering a thought or two and thought, I need to share. So I have had the opportunity to go away this weekend and really spend some time in the mountains, which I don't usually do, because if I'm in the mountains, I'm usually on a very intense ceremony like attending or helping, assisting, holding, whatever. There's never really a time that I go and I am in the mountains just for pure stillness. That's not something is usually I choose to bring into my reality. I mean, I would love it in my mind, but like it's like, deep down, I'm not choosing it for myself. So this weekend was really, really powerful. It created so much expansion and when you have expansion, because this is what I want to talk about today. When you take the time, because when you're just like, grinding with life, you're constricted, you're contracted, you're small, and you're just getting on through. You're running on all your old programs, just like a puffer train, keep going. But when you take those moments to actually go somewhere where you can indeed expand, expansion switches the lights on. Expansion brings more light. And when you expand, but you've come to an environment that can allow you to be that still to expand, what happens is when that light comes in, you can see. And what you can see is exactly where you are in purpose and in alignment and where you're not. And then it's like clarity. This is the thing, in all of our busyness in life, we make this so difficult, like so difficult, because we don't find any value in being still in the mountains, because we're like, I could just be working this weekend, or I need to go and see that friend, or I'm going to go hit a couple of bottles of vodka, or go hit the club, because that's how I unwind in that. That's actually frenetic. Frenetic plus frenetic equals really hectic, equals a very unhappy person. And you don't realize that many of us are kind of like stuck in that rhythm. It's just go, 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 go. We don't give ourselves that stillness to be able to expand. We give ourselves those weekends away to go and party and do all that kind of thing so we can release. That's like letting off some tension and some steam, right? I get that, because I did a lot of that in my younger years, like a lot. Let's just call it the pendulum swing. I've lived a life. I'm only 45, but I've lived a life. I've lived all the different colours, which is why I am here now. The other side of the pendulum swing, it's like peacefulness. Hecticness, freneticness, peacefulness. So here I am. So I'm like pondering this busyness we give ourselves on the weekends, and like, the difference between release and the difference between peace. There we go. That's very cool. The difference between release and the difference between peace. Like when you go in that freneticness and you just got to go, 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 and you don't give yourselves time to just chill. You can enjoy, but you don't chill. You release tension, but you're not actually tapping into the center. When you go into a mountain retreat, or you go and sit in a cabin where you can just be still and just take time, then you find that peace. And maybe you can merge the two together, where you can actually have a glass of wine in a log cabin in the woods, finding your peace. So you go. There's a compromise. You don't have to choose either or. God, I just came up with something very, very magical then. Did you see what happened there? But you get my gist, right? You get my gist. Release and peace. So that's what I've just experienced. I've experienced a place that's allowed me to expand, and I found this peace. And now I have clarity, and now I know exactly where I'm going and what needs to be laid into dormancy, meaning the negative stuff in my life, and where I may have gone off track, and I know exactly which way I need to go. And this is the thing that came to me, that like a lot of us that are on the spiritual path that are doing this healing and everything like that, there's certain issues, like where we're all working now is core issue stuff. Now that core issue stuff, we kind of like work tirelessly on it. We do our healing work on ourselves. We read our books. We go to sessions. We go to shamans, whatever. We work. We go forward on our path, right? Receiving the healing to break down the walls that don't serve us. But when you're at the nut in the gut, when you're at your actual real core issue, I personally don't believe that a healing session can just release it and you wake up the next day and you kind of go, okay, I feel better now, moving on. The other stuff that is on the surface that leads you to your core issue, yes, I do believe that, because I've had many, many profound shifts and amazing things that have happened where I've carried a lot of baggage for a long time, and then I let it build, and then I will go to somebody's healing session, they'll work on me, or I'll do it myself, the balloon pops, and I'm like, wow, on to the next. But this nut in the gut stuff, which is where we're at now, and we need to talk about this, because this is where we kind of think keep entertaining it as if it's that surface stuff. And why isn't it going? Because it's the core stuff. We're really at that inner place now, you know, and it's with it. And I don't believe that we are going to just basically heal that core issue, clear, and then you're going to wake up the next day. It's a process. And you know what I think keeps it hanging around is the belief system that we're going to hit a healing session just now, or you're going to have an aha moment, it's going to come down like a house of cards. Not necessarily. I believe what's going to happen is that core issue, and we all know our core issues, is that thing that's hung around pretty much, you've had it all your life. That feeling of being an underdog, maybe. That feeling of just like, you know, fear of failure. Just fear, anxiety, just scared with everything you do. You're just vibrating all the time, but you carry on moving forward anyway, but that's how you live. You know, you've had that kind of stuff all your life, and then all your lives. It's your soul path, it's your soul stuff. So that stuff is real base matter stuff. But that can't be cleared overnight. I think what actually happens is you get so worn out and just tired of the old vibration of that inner story that eventually you just go, I just don't care. I just don't care. And you kind of like burn yourself out with it, which is what needs to happen, because that burning yourself out is basically surrender. And that's when the magic happens. That's when you truly just like expand. Now, the understanding, switching back to the release energy, go out, hit the club on Friday, go out and party, go out with my friends, just have some drinks, do whatever, frenetic, busy energy or whatever that might mean. Busy. What that does is it just puts a band-aid on it. You'll feel like, okay, I've gone and enjoyed back to work on Monday, but you won't have actually moved forward or expanded with anything. What you've actually just done is just stepped out of it for a little while just to have a breath, and then coming back in, like, and then carry on with it. That's like, no, that's like, you know, it's like being in a really bad relationship with self, actually. You know, or let's put it so you can understand it. So you're in a really bad relationship with someone. So you go away for a weekend with the boys or the girls just to get a light reprieve from this nightmare chick or this nightmare guy who's a bit loopy. And then you go back to their house on Sunday, you're still together. But there's no movement. You're still not released from this dysfunctional relationship that makes you incredibly unhappy and just dims your light. That's the relationship with self. That's your core issue. So unless you're going to change, release for an understanding to be able to get peace, then you're going to stay in the same place. I really do hope I've explained that in a way that you can understand, because it's a very fine line, and we think that we are going, oh yeah, let's just go away and get a massage and just chill. That, you know, you're doing the work where you're just like, I'm giving myself all that still time. That's exactly what I need. But it still can be quite busy. So I think the question is, to allow this really deep healing, are you slowing down enough to that place? Because it brings a lot of fear when we're actually having to slow down. A lot of us get really fearful when we're like, oh God, no, we're used to this pace, because this pace is distraction, right? So you don't have to look at that dark and nasty there. You're like, oh, busy over here. I'm the queen of that, by the way. This is why I know all about this. It's distraction. You don't want to look at what's over there, so you keep it busy. So when we start to talk about being really still, first of all, you're going to go, well, I'm not going to go and sit in a log cabin in the woods. I'll be so bloody bored. It'd be unreal. Do you know what I mean? So you start to like reject it. But in the reality, the very thing that we resist and reject in full force is the very thing, which is the thing that's going to crack you open and give you the through road. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. And I'm just going to leave you with this now, because like I've been away on this weekend to Bodhi Kaya. And I just went away. I was like, breath work, whatever. I'll go to that workshop. I really don't like breath work. I don't need it. It's not my jam. It's not part of my healing makeup or whatever. I was just like, oh, but I'll go, whatever. And I kind of gave it an eye roll like, but at least I'll be able to sit in the mountains. Cool. Okay. Well, I did this breath work with this very special being called John. Oh my God. The very thing that I didn't want to do, it brought me so much healing. It literally illuminated everything. I released so much from my body. I even jumped up and ran to the front at the end and said to him, I need to train in breath work. This is where I laugh so much, because this is the living example of resistance. That's how intense it was. Breath work. Don't do breath work. That's just like so. Ask any of my friends. I just don't do it. I'm like a kid at the back breathing, just like, oh, this is so boring. So I now go to this weekend and I do this breath work, and now I'm going to go and study in it and do it, because I'm just like, oh hell, I just feel like I've discovered the wheel for the first time. I mean, it's incredibly funny. So my point is what you really resist. Have a look at that. Have a look at that. But be still enough to be able to have a look at that. But I really do think that this core issue and everything like that, what I've just explained, it's kind of giving you a bit of a formula and maybe a pathway to get through this. But it's the only way you're going to get through it is to slow right down and be still to be able to bring that through, you know? To be able to get to this balloon pop. And that's effectively where we're all at. Whether you're an awakened spiritual person or not, we're all feeling that pinch, right? And it's all time for us to move out and move on. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Anyway, so peace.